But again, my Bible tells me that my people perish for lack of wisdom, lack of knowledge. Many of us have not been into a money class, you know. We have been taught many things, and money has not been one of them. This information is really lacking, and we have seen people, young and old alike, getting into unnecessary difficulties, challenges, trouble, because um, we have no capacity. Nobody told us about money. We learn through a trial and error, and that is the space that we are addressing. And my team and myself, we do not just train, we also give people the tools for personal finance management. Training alone is not enough. You need the tools, okay? And the solutions my team and I offers is personalized money coaching is one of them, the one-on-one, the individual programs, couples program, or even for chamas to help people, especially as an individual, to put order in your money so that you can enjoy a lifetime of financial well-being. Couples, we have married everything else, or people spend their lives marrying everything else except their money. Okay, so we have got that couples programs. We do staff finance literacy training in success in organizations. We help people with retirement planning, including pension consolidation and transfer. Maybe somebody worked in different organizations and their pensions are scattered all over. We help you consolidate, and also so that you can have one place, or you can be able to put order in your money. We help people with saving and investment planning. Our signature product is the money lessons for children, teenagers, and young adults. We did not start with the kids, we started with the adults. But people kept telling us, whenever we went to train, people kept saying, I should have heard what you've said when I was younger. I should have met you a bit earlier. The mistakes we have done around money, I would not have done them. And people said that until it got to our ears. Yeah, we knew that if we started teaching our children early, even the challenges that we have in our country, in our communities, they would be addressed better. The issues of corruption, the issues of gambling, people are sinking into debt because of lack of this knowledge, lack of this training, lack of the money lessons. So that we are addressing that space with the children. Even currently, we have got something going on for the holiday. And also we do an entrepreneurship development program. Actually, Radiant Bridges is one of our clients in the entrepreneurship development program. We have worked step by step with them, slowly but surely, and we are happy for what we are seeing. I'm also a writer. I'm a prolific author. When God gave me this mandate, He enabled me to write books because I may not be able to meet everyone. At least my book, you can read a book about investment, about savings, about handling debt, about your money personality, and that's how I've written quite a number of books. Um, the upper and middle row is the upper row is finance literacy book, a personal money nuggets. This is an entrepreneurship development book, maybe for people who want to get into business and they don't know where to start. There's this guide with over 100 business ideas to select from. And one of the topics here, and I know Margaret has got this book, is about purpose. If you do business around purpose, you are likely to succeed because that is what God has called you to do. You are likely to just succeed. This is a finance literacy book. We've got manuals for financial planning. This is a manual for dealing with debt. It's called Destroy Your Debt. Destroy that debt. It is not yet out. We are hoping it will come out in the next 2 weeks. It's ready. It's only that it has not come back from the printer. You've got the financial planner to track how you use your money every day. It has got 52 weeks where you record what you spend your money on, and now you can be able to tell where is your money going. And the lower row is for children and teenagers. I'm also a children writer, and this second and third book have been taken by the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development to be used for CBC. yeah, to teach children about money. And we really, really thank God for that. We are still walking that journey as we trust God. So much about myself. Yeah. So you can access any of those services. But today we are talking about senior citizens. And these slides I made them, even Margaret had not led them, but she has just confirmed what is in the first slide, that she had a fear, like she would outlive her money. Like her money would be depleted very, very fast because the needs do not go down because you have retired. You find yourself, you've got a car to maintain, there are people who are looking up to you, you still have got your usual expenses, they are still there. People have got expectations. So one of the biggest fears that retirees or senior citizens have is the idea of outliving their money in retirement. Like you withdraw very fast, and we always want to put rules there. And then after some time, you find yourself like you don't have any money left, and you're no longer in employment, you're no longer working, you're no longer expecting a salary. So it can be a challenge to maneuver. It can be a fear for many, but it does not have to be. Okay, as much as retirement is a major life, financial milestone, but with proper planning and with the knowledge. Yeah, the Bible says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge, lack of wisdom." With knowledge, you're able to make sure that that money outlives you. Okay, you're able to meet your needs, and also you're able to do something out of it. Okay, so a comprehensive approach to retirement planning is of great importance to senior citizens. And it is not so late. When we say senior citizen, it may look like it is too late. It is not too late to do the right thing. Okay. Um, it is not about having sufficient money to cover your everyday expenses. It's about ensuring that your resources are available for unforeseen circumstances, including medical costs that may become more common, to ensure that you've got an emergency fund, to ensure that you are balancing your finances. Actually, the word here is balance. And because now there is no regular employment, um, senior citizens rely on what they had done during their working years. And I like what Margaret is saying. Like she had invested a bit, she had a farm. Sometimes I talk to Margaret and she tells me, I'm coming from the Shaba to get some spinach. I don't know, some dania. There's a customer who was waiting, and that's very, apart from the money aspect, it also keeps you busy. Following those spinach, following those danias, following the people who are working there, you know, back and forth to the shaba. That's why, Margaret, you don't look like you are actually retired. Maybe because you are keeping an active lifestyle. So as I'm talking about this, I'll first of all move through the non-financial. Money stresses many people. You can first look at the non-financial aspects of retirement or senior citizen, and then down there I'll go to the financial part of it. And as a retired person or as a senior citizen, social support is of great importance so that you don't feel when people retire. And even Margaret has just confirmed, especially when the husband passed on, she felt like she was getting bored, like she does not know what to look up to. But as a senior citizen, it's important for you to keep that social aspect of your life. Start doing clubbing, joining groups like Radiant Bridges. I always look at Radiant Bridges and I see it's a game changer and does not only focus on senior citizens, even forming relationships with the younger women, which is very, very key. So I think this is a gap that Radiant Bridges is covering, which is very important, of social support. Of course, we cannot overemphasize on the need to eat well as a senior citizen. Make sure you eat regular meals, especially if your previous pattern while at work was to snack. We know how work keeps us busy, and we find ourselves we're just snacking through, or maybe we are not even eating our lunch. But now, once you're retired, you've got the time. Please eat well. Take advantage of your hands in your the time in your hands to explore healthy cooking options, new recipes. Yeah, they'll keep you busy, and especially if you've got some money to fund those new recipes and to explore. Eating well is very, very important. As a retiree, make peace and move on. Okay. Sometimes people really resist retirement. Retirement, I know, is big, and I'm not very far from it myself. Yeah. Make peace. Know that you did all that you could have done. Just accept. Because now, once we resist, once we feel like we are not accepting that actually we are retired or we are retiring, it becomes another big deal. Living in denial. Like I've got one of my own siblings, my own brother, my bigger brother, retired a year ago, and it has been a big thing for him. He cannot accept, and he was a plant operator. He cannot accept that for sure he is retired. So to run away from that, he's been drinking himself out. Or that's how he's been spending the time that he has. Yeah, I think it is good to make peace that retirement is coming long before it starts. You accept and move on. As a retiree, to be better for you. Yeah, I'm sure even whoever Margaret, we are focusing so much on Margaret for her to accept that she has actually been widowed at retirement. Accept that she has retired and been widowed. Those are two huge things. That testimony, Margaret, you give us one day. How you are able to handle those two major transitions together. Okay. And to be able to reinvent yourself into entrepreneurship. I think it shows acceptance. It shows that you did not wallow in self-pity, but you arose and went into entrepreneurship at old age. And Ide Radiant is looking up. I'm looking forward to putting Radiant Bridges, and I think we have had this conversation with Margaret in a family trust. Yeah, and that is very, very powerful. That was started at retirement, and it's likely to outlive you. It's likely to be bigger than you. Once you retire, I said I'm starting with non-financial issues. It is good to weed down gently. For those of us who have not retired, but we can see it is not very far. Even those who are younger, the minute you start working, the first day you start working is the day you start walking your journey of retirement. Ensure that you have a smoother transition by retiring in stages. Like you don't just wake up one day and say, now you are retired. Start going slowly by slowly. Okay? Easing off your workload over several years. Pole pole too. Don't just crash rad it. Ask your employer if you can cut back your working hours. For those of us who are nearing retirement, develop a routine. You may find it feels more normal to continue getting up, eating, and going to bed roughly the same time every day. You may plan activities like exercises, hobbies, and I know Radiant Bridges offers these things once in a while, and we hope that over time they'll be even more frequent. This will keep things interesting and give you a purpose to wake up every day and to do something. And as we said, you are not too old. As retirees, I know I cannot overemphasize on the need to keep physically active. Aim at least 150 minutes of moderate to intense physical activity a week. Yeah, to build up, keep building up slowly by slowly. Make exercise a normal part of your life. I mean, there's a time you go walking. I know retirees may not run. There's a place I go and I meet other retirees, a place where there is steam, sauna. I find so many senior citizens there exercising themselves in a steam bath, pampering themselves. Sign up for charity events. Yeah, just to give back. You don't even have to give back money. Just give back your time. Give back your love. So many people need love in this world. And as a retiree, you may have time to give. You may have love. Yeah. So volunteer for charity events so that as you go out there, you'll find purpose. Life will be good. Life will be interesting for you. And there's not to emphasize the blessings that come with it. It is important as a retiree to keep in touch with your friends from work. Don't just isolate yourself because now you are retired. Go for health checkup. And I like the fact that Radiant Bridges has been doing health checkups during their initiative. That's very powerful, Margaret. Please keep it up. We have said about pampering yourself. Have your me time. Maybe when you are working, you did not have time for me. For me, myself, and I, like what I'm saying that I meet retirees doing steam sauna. They're having their me time. Okay. Practice mindfulness, which is a strategy to reduce stress. I don't know why my slide is disappearing. Let me put off the video. Maybe it's the one that is coughing. Can you hear me? Grant, Margaret, can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. I think my Wi-Fi is. Thank you. I think my Wi-Fi is also playing games. I was talking about non-financial issues for senior citizens, for retirees, and we talked about being mindful, a strategy to reduce stress and anxiety. Say that again, please. I thought somebody was talking. Let me put off my. Please give me a minute. I check where my network is misbehaving. Please, Grant, please let me know if that's better. Yeah, to hear me better now. Oh, I hope it's gone now. Sometimes even Wi-Fi misbehaves. Thank you. I don't want it to disappear before we talk about the financial issues. But money does not happen in isolation. Okay, when you pamper yourself, for example, you are improving your health, and your health is your wealth. When you have some me time, especially in these eras of mental health issues, mental health challenges, prioritize your me time. Okay, take a walk, take a brisk walk. Yeah, go pamper yourself. Go for a session in the steam. Go for a massage session, for a sauna session. I mean, to meet with other people, just to meet and talk and laugh. Me time. In this era of mental health issues, it means something in terms of keeping you healthy. And you have said your health is your wealth. being able to give back to community to not only keep you busy. And we said you don't have to give money for you to be giving. Give your time, give love, give concern, go to places where there is need. Just go, like we see in children homes. People just go to hug those children and tell them it's okay. The sick people, just give back. Find a way of giving back to the community. As a there's a lot of healing that comes with giving. There's a lot of fulfillment that comes with giving. And we're not just talking about giving money. If you have got money to give, fine. If not, you don't have to not to give at it because you don't have money. Let us prioritize giving things that money cannot buy. Yeah, be one with nature. Fresh air, exercise will boost your mood and maintain your well-being. Travel more. If you always dreamt of going to places around the world, please go. I was watching somebody else who was saying that you will not go with this money to heaven. I hope you saw that caption. It was doing rounds on social media this week. So spend it here. Take that trip. Even go to another country just to visit. I mean, that time when you are working, you could not travel because of commitment of work. Maybe children were small. You are paying school fees. Now you're no longer paying school fees. Give yourself a trip. Give yourself a treat. You worked so hard. And of course, you can take up a new project. Don't feel like you are too old to do something. And I like what we said about Margaret. Now this is her project, Radiant Bridges, and we are all here because she agreed to take up a new project at retirement. You are not too old. You could pursue your passion. You could pursue your purpose. Yeah, if there's something you've been wanting to do and you are not able to do it, if it's that farming, I've been telling Margaret I would want to sample some of her, what do we call them, gadgets. I remember the time we were discussing the gadgets. Yeah, very interesting things to do, and maybe because you did not have time. I think I'm not very good in non-financial matters. My area is mostly finance, but we said finance does not happen in isolation. And if it's the small caption that does it for you, these small captions, they are not just for beauty. They mean something of importance to you as a senior citizen or as a retiree is to get your finances in order. Yeah, you need to organize your money. That little money or sometimes we feel like we don't have enough money. Mine is so little. Many people feel like that. Myself, I also am trusting God to increase my own, to help me grow my money, to help me make my money work for me. Actually, this is where that narrative, and it's not a narrative, is a truth. People are always saying, I want my money to work for me. This is the time that aspect of my money working for me comes alive. Okay? At retirement, your hands have slowed down in terms of being able to work for your money. At retirement or when you are advanced in years, that is the time your money, the more, if you're able to employ your money well, it should be able to work for you. It should work for you actively more than your hands are doing. You spent all your life working maybe for that money. Now it's time for exchange, for the money to work for you, and it is possible depending with what order you give your money. You as a retiree or as a senior citizen, you need to gradually reduce your spending. Yeah, now you can be able to, it is easier for you to adjust here and there because now your life is on a different trajectory. Okay, track down your pension, claim your state, and check what other benefits you can claim. I wanted to ask Margaret and I forgot whether she's claiming the allowances given by the government for senior citizens or whether she's qualified for that. But this is the time to track down even the small amounts. If you have ever worked in an organization, even if you worked for a short time, and maybe there was pension, we have got so many retirees whose pension are held here and there. and there's a place where they worked when they were 25 years. They worked for 3 years and they left. By the way, our Unclaimed Assets Authority, I hope we have seen it, have got so much assets, so much money, so many pension, pension things, pension money for people who worked somewhere, but they never followed up, especially because these issues of pension, investments, insurance are not things that we grew up understanding. And sometimes the employers have not been very kind with the information. So maybe the employer did not tell you that where that place where you worked when you were 35, there was a pension. So you never followed. Imagine that pension is held somewhere in the Unclaimed Assets Authority. It's a high time the retirees, or even when you're near retirement or you have retired, now start following those small things that may have looked small. Can you imagine even if you saved just 10,000 when you are 35? How much money is that at the time when you are 35? When you are 50? Compound interest, that money has been enjoying the power of compound interest, and maybe that is the money that is held in the Unclaimed Assets Authority. It's a high time we woke up, especially as women. Yeah, many times, and especially in the traditional African society, it is the men who are tasked with these things. Yeah, there are men who have passed on and they did not talk about those plots of land that they own. Do you know how our men were in the past? Okay, very, very close. They did not tell you. It's a high time now you wake up. Now that maybe you have got some times in your hands, go and find out. Maybe there was a pension that is there and it is just lying there, waiting for you. And maybe it is something that can assist you at this time. So this is time to get your finances in order. Okay, there are people who are struggling unnecessarily because they are not empowered to go and follow those retro, because they look so retro. You may find yourself struggling unnecessarily, and the money is there, just the government is waiting just to use that money because there's nobody who comes to claim, because you have never taken we find it like it is too much trouble, again, because we have not used the services of a financial advisor. The financial advisor is one person who is highly underutilized. And maybe there are people who could assist you be able to track where your money is. Okay? Avoid scams. The other thing to do as a senior citizen, as a retiree, is to avoid scams that target seniors. And I'm sure you have seen these heartbreaking stories, okay, of people who have retired, senior citizens who have met scammers, who have been defrauded of their money, okay? And it can be devastating for senior citizens who are no longer making an income. They are relying on what they worked on before. But because we have not had this financial education anywhere, we were not taught, we did not know how what works. Yeah. And now we are here, we have got the time. Some little pension has come, some little amount, I call it little, has come in the form of pension, and you find defrauders who are ready and waiting for people who are unsuspecting, who do not have the knowledge of how what works. And I know how our senior citizens have experienced heartbreaking things in the hearts of scammers. Please be sure that you are working with a professional financial advisor. That thing of moving with fear because you are fearing hii pesa labda itaisha kabla nifike miaka, whatever number of years. So, and because of the financial ignorance, we go into places we are told, weka hapa utakuwa unapata I don't know what percent, but you're not asking yourself, what model will they use? And because you are too busy with work, you never knew what was happening in the market. You never knew the strategies the scammers use. So you are easily swayed by that information. Anakwambia itakuwa inasaa pesa ngapi, and there you are. And I can tell you kwa ground si kuzuri. They are waiting for you senior citizens. You are waiting for retirees to tell you ni hapa na hapa, and then they scam you. And it can be devastating. So please appreciate the services of a financial advisor. Ensure you are working with a professional, because again, you may need a professional, okay, to tell you that you cannot take your pension to go and start some businesses. And I'm not saying that you cannot start a business as a retiree. You can, but then you require a lot of care. You require a professional to work with you that journey. There's another mzee who called me a while ago in Gong. He had retired and his money was good. I think he had worked for many years in a place where the pension was good. He got over 30 million in pension. And when that money came, it was overwhelming for him. So akasema atafutiwa a professional financial advisor. So I was called and I went and I met that mzee in Gong. So we were asking ourselves, I was asking him, before I tell you what to do with your money, what do you want to do yourself? Okay? Nikamuuliza, do you want to buy and build? Unataka kununua ujenge? And he said, I think he was a contractor. Aliniambia hapana, mimi sitaki hiyo. Mafundi wataniua, watanimaliza na pressure. See, I'm sure those of us who have experienced foodies, we know how stressing that can be. Aliniambia yeye hataki. Foodi watamuua mapema. Okay? So we had to build virtual flats. Of course, he's collecting rent. We did boards. We diversified. And I know I can see from the attendees, a few of my clients here who have been walking the journey with. So it's good to appreciate the service of a financial advisor. At retirement is the time to think of another source of income. Yeah. So that you are not just eating what is there. You may, because the fear of outliving it is real. Think about or walk the journey of having another source of income. Nowadays, I look at retirees, like that brother of mine I'm telling you, that he retired 2 years ago. Oh my goodness, the guy looks very strong. He looks like he's just starting to work and he's retired. And I'm looking at him and I'm wondering, hii nguvu yote utapeleka wapi? You can do something, but you need to think about it before. Look at something that will not be so demanding on your head. Don't start selling eggs. I mean, don't start those businesses that are fast moving. Like you have to go to Gikoba every day or you have to go to Marigiti every day as a senior citizen. That would be too much for you. But that does not mean you cannot have another source of income. Diversify that income of yours. Consider entrepreneurship, businesses that will not be so demanding. It is the time to learn even the online space. It is, as a retiree, you cannot ignore the digital space because again, that's where people are. That's where you are going to meet them. I've met retirees who are doing online shops and they just call a delivery person to deliver what it is that they are doing or they are delivering. It's a time that that talent of yours that you had, that you never had time to utilize it. Maybe you had a knitting talent. Like my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is 82 now, 82, 83 there. She still makes kiodos, yeah, and she sells them. Now I was telling her nimfungulie an online shop. She's too old, of course, to be able to use the smartphone, but she does those kiodos, yeah, and she does them very, very well. So in every wedding in the village, she's always booked for the kiodos, yeah, and she's making money out of that. So you are never too old. Invest to enjoy passive income. If you are not able to do active income, remember entrepreneurship, business is active income. You must be involved. But there's passive income. If you're able to invest with a plan and you know the right places to invest, that little money, because yes, I'm saying little, nobody feels like their money is much. That money can work for you. And for sure, the Bible says that money is a faithful servant. It's only bad when it becomes your master. But money is a faithful servant if you direct it well. So stretch out your nest and make your retirement sustainable over a lifetime. Okay? So in retirement, it's good to consider having another source of income. Beware of scammers. Put order in your money. Update your financial goals. If at all you had any, many of us have lived their lives with their goal being only one, not to be broke. Very, very sad. Okay, we need to be able to have goals so that even when you go to God in prayer, you are telling Him, God, the next year, I want to go to the US. Next year, I want to visit Zambia. I mean, I want to see the world. How is the world like? That becomes a goal, and you start working towards achieving it. But now it's time to look into your goals. Maybe now, if you had goals to educate your children and you have done that, you are finished. You had goals to build a home. Maybe you have, okay, or maybe that's your goal. You now you have retired. You want to move from them renting place to your own home. That becomes a goal. If you are already in your own home, you may be thinking about being able to travel to see the world. Maybe you'd want to move from where you are living to somewhere else. Maybe there are those who don't want to retire in their own country. You want to take up new hobbies. Okay. You want to provide financial support for your children, for your grandchildren, helping them with the school fees. There was another client of mine alikuwa ananiambia he now wants just to visit his grandchildren. He's a man in different places. And then when they are doing their games, he becomes the horse. His grandchildren are riding on his back. Very admirable things. But please make it a goal because it is very hard that your children will be able to support you. Diversify your portfolio. At the retirement, that is the time to start diversifying your portfolio. Rebalance your portfolio, okay? So that you're able to preserve your savings and to make sure that you continue growing it as much as you can while you are spending. Remember, in retirement, mostly it is spending. I should have brought the financial life cycle. Okay, diversify your portfolio. There are those who just know the charmer and they just remain with the charmer. There are those who knows up to the circle or up to the money market. No, you need a financial advisor, and I'm going to be showing here a few options to work with you to show you what else that you can do with your savings and even with the little income that you are generating. Retirement does not mean that you stop generating income. Yeah, it is possible for you to continue generating income depending on what you do or what you stop doing, what you start doing or what you stop doing. You need, as a retiree, you may need to look at your expense. Create an expense plan. Yeah. It does not mean now because you have retired or you're no longer working or you no longer have an income, like you not want a budget. You still need to be better, especially with your budgeting. Actually, this is the time budgeting comes to life. Being able to budget becomes of great importance. And one of the rules of budgeting for retirees is the 50-30-20 rule. Yeah, the 50-30-20 budgeting rule. It is simple and effective. I don't know how many of us know the 50-30-20 rule. It's called the Pareto principle. It says out of that income, whether it's a pension, whatever income that is you are getting or whatever money you have, at least 50% of it should be enough for your needs. And needs are those things that you cannot do without. You have got the food, the clothing, the shelter, healthcare. Healthcare becomes key for you at this point because especially as we grow older, our healthcare needs also increase. And again, that's why we say it is time to look for the senior citizens health cover because again in Kenya, we know how bad it is to get sick. This is the time to ensure that your NHIF remains up to date. Okay. So 50% should be enough for your needs. And your needs are reducing. For me, I would say that my needs are 5: food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, and school fees. Yeah, those are needs. For you, you don't have school fees as a retiree. So your healthcare, your expenses are going down. 30% should be enough for your wants. What we have called more time. Enjoying girls' day out. I mean, sometimes going to give yourself a treat, pampering yourself, going for that trip. Yeah. Like now, I'm aware like Radiant is planning for a certain trip for senior citizens. Yeah, they invest 30% into such things. 20% should be enough for your savings and maybe for reducing debt, if at all you are in any form of debt, or you tired when you had some loan, or maybe you keep because you have got some income, maybe you are borrowing, maybe you are doing some business, and sometimes business will put you into a bit of debt. The repayment should not be more than 20% of your savings. Yeah. So the 20% is where you save, you reduce debt. And actually, this is the time to ensure that your insurances are up to date, be it health insurance, car insurance, home insurance, medical insurance, I've said. But apart from the normal medical insurance, there's also something we call, and many people don't know about it, the critical illness cover. We say that retirement, that's when the need for healthcare increases. That's when you may find yourself with this and that, critical illnesses, very, very critical for senior citizens. And that is the time you see, and I think I'll come to that. Let me not preempt. At retirement is the time to consider investing wisely. Okay? At this point, you may want to make less risky investments. And by then, that's why you need a financial advisor so that you can walk that journey. Because you are not stopping to invest, to save, to grow your money. Little by little, you are not keeping your money in the bank at utoage tu kadogo kadogo. I can tell you, money in the bank is not your money, whether you are retired or not. And if you don't get anything else from this session, let us differentiate issues. Okay? The purpose of the bank are two: to facilitate transactions and to keep your money safe. It's not to grow your money. So those people who keep their little money in the bank at their retirement, now let me put it in the fixed account. I mean, at least your money should be in a money market fund, at least to the lowest. And we have got other options, and I'll come to that. But don't keep your money in the bank at this point. This is the time you want your money to work for you, and you want to employ it. Money is a faithful servant if you employ it well. So it's time to invest wisely. You will not stop investing at it because you are retired. You may not take the investment options. There are some investment options I would tell a retiree, please don't touch. Yeah, like you need to create an emergency fund. Somewhere your money is just sleeping there just in case there is an emergency. And it is enjoying the power of compound interest. And an emergency fund is not for retirees, it is for all of us. And the best place to have an emergency is in a money market fund. So each one of us here should at least have a money market fund now, in addition to other things. At retirement is the time to assess your risk tolerance. It is important to know how much risk are you able to tolerate. How much risk can you stomach? And that's why we are saying at retirement, some investment options even are not for you. Yeah, you need to adjust to rebalance your portfolio. And it is, people fail to invest because they think my money is so little, hakuna pesa kidogo na pia hakuna pesa mingi. It's what you do with that kidogo that you have. Okay? So you want to get into something that will help you sleep at night. You cannot start buying shares in the stock exchange at retirement unless you have got a fund manager who is doing that for you. Otherwise, that's the time you'll be hearing, kuna Gen Zs wako kwa streets, they are demonstrating. That night you can't sleep. Or you start having a loose stomach. We don't want that for retirees. That's why it's very, very careful for you to work with someone to tell you here you cannot touch, but you can have a critical illness cover in case you have got, and we have seen those issues. And I said again, I'm not preempting. We have seen those issues where people get unwell, and I pray that none of us here who is hearing my voice will get sick, will remain healthy. But then these are things that affect people, okay? And when something like that happens, you hear that now people start selling land, start selling even their homes, because now health comes first, because they did not know there is something called the critical illness cover. Yeah, and people fear insurance. Wanasemaga insurance ni wezi. Okay, but we cannot do without insurance. There's something called a critical illness cover. In case something like that happens, and like even now I'm in our WhatsApp group, we are fundraising for someone who had to go to India for treatment. Okay, but that person knows there's a critical illness cover, something small that helps you remain safe, and in case something like that happens, those are the covers that we take, na tunaomba God, hii nimechukua lakini wacha nisikulie hii pesa. Okay, but when you have it, in case anything happens, and failure to plan is planning to fail. Even our God is a God of order, wants us to plan. We are able to protect our assets. I'll be showing a balance of that. So your portfolio allocations become important. You don't want to be holding so many plots of land here and there, yet you cannot afford your health care, yet you cannot eat well, and you have got chunks of land and buildings. That is the time to rethink your portfolio. I'm not saying you start selling them, but when you're near retirement, that is the time you need to start balancing and you convert. And I've met so many retirees, they are holding a lot of economic wealth, yet they are so wealthy in economic terms, but in financial terms, they are so poor. Yeah, you cannot afford to eat well, yet you own so much wealth wherever, and even that wealth has not been put in a family trust, or there is no planning. And we have seen issues that I can mention that we know. Okay, at retirement, this is the time to plan your estate. Okay, many people don't get to do this part. Have a proper estate plan, life insurance coverage, ensure your assets are distributed in manner of your choosing and that of your loved ones. Our retirees, our old ladies and gentlemen have left a very huge gap here without planning their estate. Okay, make arrangements for the benefit protection of your heirs, the people who come after you, of your estate. You don't want leave your children fighting. And we all know what happened. Let me give you a very relevant case. And I'm saying that because it is in the public domain. So if you belong to the family that owned Tuskys, the family of the late Mr. Mukuha, ule wa Tuskys, tuliona vile kulifanyika na Tuskys supermarket. It was a giant. But because maybe that mzee did not know about estate planning, he did not plan. He did not create a trust for Tuskys. Now where is Tuskys now? Yeah, it is gone. Mr. Mkuu alienda tu nayo. Yeah, siku yake wakati ilifika alienda, akaacha hii gap, akaachia watoto na ni watoto wazima. And if you belong to that family, I've got nothing against the owners of Tuskys, but this is information that is in the public domain. That's why I'm talking about it. If it was not in the public, I would not have mentioned. Lakini saa hii ni kitu iko social media. Because we all got hurt by the falling of the giant called Tuskys. Because that person had not done this part of being able to plan that estate, or being able to create a family trust. He wrote a will. I was listening to a feature on YouTube about Tuskys. He wrote a will, and then it was contested. What people do not know is that a will can be contested, but a family trust cannot. If you are here a retiree, you have got whatever small, whether it's a plan, it's a life insurance cover plan, it is a piece of land or a car, any asset, please don't leave that space open. Yeah, and remember, a will can be contested. Create a family trust. Margaret and I'll be offering that service to you people in Radiant Bridges, because I know you deal with senior citizens, we don't want those issues to continue. We want to create family trusts. We want to plan your estate. And it is not only the retirees, people think it is retirees who should plan their estates. No. Even the young people who could be in this session, you need to create a family trust so that you secure your inheritance for the people who are coming after you. Why the Asians and the Indians, you see businesses continue running in, we have seen many businesses, for especially for those Asian Indian communities that have lived within generations. Unasikia, I'm the one who is running this business, and I'm a fourth, this is a fourth generation business. Yeah, because those people, they keep those businesses in family trusts. They don't stay like us. Yeah, we are not talking about what will happen after somebody is gone, because we are associate writing a will with death. No. Yeah, a family trust. Even those young people who are here, I can see Grant is here, and I know he's a young man. You need also to create a family trust. Ukiendelea God akikubariki, unanunua kaplot, unakaongeza hapo. Ukiuza kale kengine kana nyuki, unaenda unatoa kwa hiyo family trust. Ikaage ikiwa it will learn from you to your children, to your great grandchildren, and there is nobody who will be able to say anything or to who mess around with it, because we only require one person, one of your children, or one of the wives of your sons, or the husband of your daughters to become problematic. Yeah, and the problem starts there, and your estate that you build so hard goes down because we don't consider estate planning. We don't know how to create a family trust. Yeah, we don't know how to protect what we own. Saa ingine hata inafikaga wakati wa retirement, hata kaplot kalikuwa kamenunua huko na nyuki, ama kuna kaplan fulani alikuwa amechukua na ICA ama na Old Mutual ama na whoever, hata wewe mwenyewe hana details vizuri, iko aje, ama ilimachua lini, ama itamachua lini, ama ni ngapi, hata documents ziko wapi. It is at this point that you need to put your house in order. Okay, know that hii kitu iko na title, acha tufuate. Where is the policy document for this plan that is with Old Mutual or with Jubilee or with whoever? Now it's time to put that house in order and create a family trust. Please, people, this is very, very important. Plan your estate. Yeah, we have seen so many people when they are gone, and those stories are in the public domain. We know the stories of Kina Jega Kalome, those were also in the public domain. Kina Kirema, had somebody just been careful enough to create a family trust, the heartbreaking stories we have had, we would not have had them. And again, let me issue again a disclaimer. If you belong to any of those families, I've got nothing against any of those families. Yeah, but let us learn from the mistakes of our others, not from our own mistake. So how do we create a balance? This is how a balance looks like. Sometimes we are just doing two things here and there, literal things, but this is how a balance looks like. I wanted to draw something that looks like a cross. In the office, when we are talking, we say kila mtu atabeba msalaba wake. Of course, hiyo msalaba wa pesa, I mean wa Yesu. It's how you should create a balance for your personal finances, for your estate. The lower law is about saving and investment, retirement planning. You don't have a balance until you have this. This is what many people never get to see, how the balance with your personal finances looks like. The first quadrant is about being able to save, being able to invest, being able to make your money work for you. It is a must-have for everyone. And in that place, that's why we have short-term, mid-term, long-term. As retirees, now you start moving away from the long-term. You want to put your money in the short-term, in the mid-term plans, but you still need to make your money to continue working for you. Retirement planning, you can have like a pension within a pension. That's where things like annuities come in to plan your retirement so that your money, you don't outlive your money. Okay, that is the lower quadrant. We come to the upper quadrant. You need to have an income protection and replacement in place. Like a medical cover, we know a sickness can wipe away all your assets. Yeah, all the wealth that you have built over the years. Just a sickness in old age can just come because you don't have money to go to India or wherever for treatment. We end up selling all your investment, all your assets. Whereas you could just have taken an income protection and replacement cover, a critical illness cover. Okay, life insurance becomes very critical at this point because you want to give a liquid inheritance to your children. Okay, a liquid inheritance. So whole of life insurance cover, whole of life, and we have got some very nice plans where you just pay for 10 years and that's it. Even if you start when you are 30, you pay until when you are 40. That's all. You are done. The day you go back to God, that's when that money or that whole life insurance cover becomes relevant. And there's nothing like life insurance. We fear life insurance because of the ile story tunasikia kwa huko kwa mtaa. Ati unajua mtu akichukua life insurance cover sijui atafanywa nini. Please, that is lack of information. We talk that out of ignorance. It is a very, very professional space. So apart from taking the income protection and replacement options, we need also to start planning for income continuity. We plan for the ultimate. Ultimately, all of us will go back to our maker. So let's not just stay there. Let's plan for it. Can we have a last expense cover? Can we plan our estate? Can we create family trusts? And I want to start seeing family trusts coming up from here. Even if you only manage to have a home only, it can be the bone of contention for your children when you are not there for your heirs, for the people who come after you. Create a family trust, put that home in a family trust. There's nobody who can come and do their own things. Okay? Hata hizi vitu tunasikiaga ati watoto wanauliza mzazi ataenda lini. If only we knew how to create family trust or to plan our estates, those things would be a thing of the past. Yeah? Because they know it's a family trust that is there and cannot be altered. What you say is final. Okay? A will can be contested, a family trust cannot. Let people know where to put the difference. And we have got a basket of goodies for our senior citizens. We said the fact that you are retired does not mean that you stop saving, you stop investing, you stop growing your money. And I'm going back here for our senior citizens by showing the options that are there for our senior citizens, and I've put everything where it belongs. The way you see I've divided them, it is to create again a balance with the investment. So with this slide, I'm covering just this portion. But of course, at the end here, there is the estate planning and protection. And in the short term, these are the options that you can access as a senior citizen, as somebody who is retired, who is nearing retirement, even for those of us who are young. This is the balance you are supposed to have with your investment. Sometimes tunafanya tu mambo hapa na pale, ati mtu ako kwa sako mbili and I'm meeting them and asking them, what is your objective? Why join 2 circles? For what? Yeah? Na kila kitu venye umeona the way I've divided them, it's good to know that kila kitu iko na mahali pake. Okay? And in the short term, and let me also say that the way I've divided them, I'm helping you create a balance. And you don't need all these things. You only need to know which one works for you. Of course, there are those that are must have for each of us, whether we are young or old, like the money market fund. Each of us should have a money market fund. Yeah, so that you keep enjoying the power of compound interest. You have an emergency fund. The way I've divided them, I want you to look at them like when you are planning your meal. Ukiwa na shilingi 1,000 ama 500 na unataka kupika dinner, supper, hauendagi ati unanunua yote uga ama yote boga ama nyama yote, hapana. Ukuwa you divide between boga, ingine kidogo unanunua kanyama, ingine kidogo unanunua uga ya ugali, so that you can have a balanced diet. And if you don't give your body a balanced diet, in the long run, you start seeing that you are actually not eating a balanced diet. Your body will start fighting back. Okay, so even with your personal finances, you need to give them a balance. In the short term, the best examples I have is just the money market fund or buy government securities. This is the most liquid, the short term, where you keep putting, ukipata 1,000, don't eat the whole of 1,000, put away some 300. Don't eat your seeds and your fruits. Okay, remove the seed and take it back so that next season you have something. So a money market fund is a must-have for everyone, or you can buy government securities. These are places where your money is growing and you can get your money whenever you want. Of course, with government securities, you require at least 3 months or 6 months or 1 year. Yeah, the government will hold your money for either 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. And you need a minimum of 50,000 Kenya shillings for you to be able to access government securities. But money market fund, even with 1,000 shillings, you can open a money market. And sometimes I feel so sad when I meet retirees wakati wamepewa pension, sasa hiyo ndio tunaenda kufungua money market. You know, because this information was missing. Everybody needs to have a money market fund. At least ukuwe unaweka kidogo hapa na pale, okay? Short term. And you can get your money whenever you want. You need only 1,000, maybe 1,000 shillings for you to start that money market fund account. And you can save any amount. You can withdraw any amount when you need it. But when you're not withdrawing, you're enjoying the power of compound interest. Hata hiyo siku ikikaa, hiyo pesa yako ikikaa hapo kwa money market siku moja, you get it tomorrow with interest. And when you put your monies in the bank, please be sure that the banks do not stay with the money in the bank. They invest it. They make your money work for them because you don't know how to make your money work for you. Okay? At least the money market is a must-have for everyone. And it's the starting point. It is a baby class, and you cannot go to class 1 unless you have been to baby class. There are those people who invest in the money market, sasa wanasema wamekuwa investor, they get into a comfort zone. No. It's just a stepping stone, and it's a must-have for each one of us. Yeah? You want your money to enjoy the power of compound interest. And when you're eating ugali, boga, and nyama, maybe that is the ugali. That is the main, or that is the boga. You cannot do without. Short-term investment option. You need something to be in the mid-term. I don't know whether our retirees are in a circle, starting from the bottom. Yeah? At least each of us need to be in a circle, because you require a loan at one point or another. At this point of your life, you cannot start go borrowing bank loans, yeah, that are charging 18%, too expensive. Let's leave the bank loans to the businesses. Build a circle, join a circle, and we join the circle for the purpose of loans, because a loan is a need. We are seeing even our retirees, they are accessing those funding loans that are being offered by Shyrox because the need for loan came and they are not build a circle. Yeah. Why would you want to pay a loan of 18% when you can have one for 13-12% in a circle? And people say, yes, I'll be asked for guarantors. Yes, all circle loans are guaranteed. You can never live in a world of your own. Join a circle, and when they call for member education, please go. And we join the circle for the core business of the circle. There are people who are telling me they invest in circles, in chairmans. Circles, we go to the circle because of the core business of the circle, which is savings and credit. Okay? But also there are options like Masa X. Masa X is new in Kenya. People who, when they get their retirement money, but it's a high yielding money market fund. it works like in the money market, but it's high yielding. It can also be operated in the form of DORA. When you hear DORA fund, it hides itself in the money market. It is new in Kenya, but it's regulated by the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Please, when you are doing your investment, make sure whoever you are investing in is regulated, because that's where you people fall for scammers. Yeah, ensure that you're investing in a place where there is regulation. You've got products like the Wealth Builder. Of course, you require a minimum of 250,000 to access Kenya shillings to access the Mansa X and the Wealth Builder again. And the beauty with the Wealth Builder is because it comes with a life insurance cover. You have to hold that for at least 2 years. The Wealth Builder. We've got things like the Fanaka investment, very good for senior citizens. These are 5-year plans. Yeah, I'm not sure that I would want to give our retirees those very long-term 10 years plans. No, we've got Fanaka Investissure plans. Those are 5 years plans. Buy an annuity, like that person who had that TM, we did an annuity. An annuity is something that is, it requires more money, but it is like an annuity, what do we call it? A pension within a pension. In terms of when you get into an annuity contract, you agree with the person who is providing that you will be giving me 50,000 or 100,000 or whatever it is per month until the day I go back to God. Okay? And when I go back, if there's any money remaining, it will be given to this and that person. Okay? So there are different forms of an annuity. And for retirees, this is a very good option because you want to have your monthly, the way you are used to the monthly salary. When you buy an annuity, it is able to be giving you a monthly salary. And most of those people who have got, like Margaret told us, she gets her money monthly. I hope your retirement package was big enough for whoever is providing that option for you to buy for you an annuity. Okay, this is a contract. You work, and we have got many providers, people like ICL, Jubilee, and of course you can work with me. I'll help you buy an annuity. Yeah, and then you'll be getting a salary every month, and still they are investing your money, so it's still growing, so that you don't outlive your money. Okay, you can also buy bonds. Like this current government is huge with investment. There's actually a board that was issued, is it last week? Okay, but many times we just focus on what the government is not doing, the challenges that are in the government, and the agencies are demonstrating. I don't know, we have post-election violence. I don't know who is not doing what. We focus on those things. And we fail to know that the government is the most secure place you can invest. When is the last time serikali yetu ya Kenya ilianguka? Ilianguka lini mara ya mwisho? Na hata hiyo kupu alijaribu in the 80s, haiku succeed. After that Moi akakua, Kibaki akakuja, Kenyatta akakuja, kulikuwa na mashida 1001, but let me tell you, the most secure place to invest is in the government. Okay? Of course, even the others, you do your due diligence. You've got equity funds or shares. When you see the word equity, just know those are shares. But with the shares, it is good to be careful. It's better you go the equity fund ways. There are 2 ways of buying shares. Yeah, you can either go get a stockbroker, buy shares through them. When you buy shares through the stockbroker, it is you to be following. Ni gani? Ni ya Safaricom ama ni ya KenGen ama ni ya wapi? Niuze gani, ninunue gani? Okay. But when you appoint a fund manager that is investing maybe through the insurance companies, and personally I work with ICL, I work with Jubilee, I work with those people because I don't want to just give people information. And I don't want to train my people and then waende huko wakapatana na watu wengine. So I hold my people, my trainees, I hold their hands and walk with them this journey. Yeah, so that we can do a measure. So when you do your shares through an equity fund, that means it will not be your concern to know whether it is Safaricom or Kengen or I don't know who. It is a fund manager who do that for you. But the catch is here. They will always charge you 2% of what your shares make. So the fund manager works so hard to give you a good return ndio apate hiyo 2% yake, na hiyo 2% ndio sisi sasa tunalipagwa nayo as agents. I said I'm an agent for IC, I'm an agent for Old Mutual, I'm an agent for Jubilee, because I don't want to give people just information. I also want to give them the solutions. So these are the midterm savings and investment options. And I should have added here that short term is up to 1 year. Investment options that are up to 1 year or below. Okay. Midterm options, there are things you need to hold for at least 2 to 5 years. Okay. Long term, these are things you need to hold for a minimum of 5 to 10 years. Like when you start a business, and I talked about Radiant Bridges, it is something that will be here for quite many years, especially if we are able to put it in a family trust. It will be there for many years. None of Margaret's children will be able to do anything, okay, about it. They will only be able to learn it, get the beauty, get the advantage of it, and then pass it on to their children. Their children continues like that until they pass it on to the other children. That's why you see some families do certain kind of business for many years. It is not that there's somebody who did something to preserve the legacy, to preserve their legacy. Okay. Now, after you have eaten ugali, na boga, na nyama, umeshiba, you still require some water and some fruits. That's when you now go to what I've just said. Be able to plan and protect your estate. This is the balance that we all need. And when I'm showing all these things, you don't need all these things. You only need to see which one works for you. And that's why you need a financial advisor. Okay. And in the long term, you've got, of course, I've talked about starting a business, entrepreneurship. And I've said I have a program that helps people get into business. Those who do not have business ideas, I've written a book and it comes with a program. We have got things that are coming up in Kenya. These are emerging issues called rates. Ama watu wale basi wanataka ile to plot maguta. Be careful, people. Okay? Especially retirees. Be careful. Okay? But also you don't have to buy a plot on its own. You've got things called rates that are coming up. Investment in the real estate. All said and done, it is not how much money you make, but how much you keep, okay? How much of it works for you, and for how many generations you keep it for. It is my colleague, Robert Kiyosaki, who said that it is not how much money you make, but it's how much of it you keep. You can make so much money. That's why we said it's not about the amount. You can make so much money, but it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, how much of it works for you, and for how many generations you keep it for. Okay? So plan your estate, protect your legacy. Take a life insurance and critical illness covers. They are very, very key for retirees so that you are able to preserve the assets that you have accumulated, the wealth you have made over the years. It can go within a short while because of an illness, but you can take a life insurance or a critical illness cover. In case anything like that happens, your assets will not be touched. There will be something, and these are affordable things. These are vitu tudogo, lakini watu wajuagi hata hazina pesa mingi, and yet they would help protect your assets from being sold unnecessarily. You don't want that because you are sick, or because, and I pray that none of us get sick because of a sickness, or you are depleted goes. Or you don't want that story I've just said of Tuskys, because the vision bearer of Tuskys rested. Now he goes with the business. We are all affected as Kenyan citizens. Like me, I was a shopper with Tuskys. So create a family trust, have a medical plan. So this is the balance, and it comes from here. Those who are younger, look at this balance. This is what you need. Achani kushida ati, I want to do 2 circles, so I'm building this, and no, you only need 1 circle and a critical illness curve. Okay? Plus, keep diversifying your investment, because different investment options carry different risks and they are for different time horizons. Yeah? Hapa unapata kitu ya kukula every day. That's why we give people a balance. When you come to me with 10,000 Kenya shillings, I'll tell you, I'll not tell you atuweka zote zako ama weka money market ndio upate mazao kubwa. Hapana. The word is not mazao kubwa. The word is creating a balance. We put some little money in the money market, at least upatae kitu ya kukula every so often. Okay? Tuweke ingine kidogo kwa sako, maybe you'd want to borrow a loan to take a project or something like that. Okay? Ile ingine kidogo tuweke kwa one of the long term. At least ile utapata ikiwa a big chunk at retirement. I've talked too much. I think I'm done. I know there are many things I've not said, but we can only say so much in a session. And that's my website, our website. You can visit us. This is my number. You can reach out in case you want the services of a money coach. This is my number. You can reach out to me, and I'm in the Radiant Bridges group. Also, you can find me there. This is our website. You can look at what we do. And I think I'll take the session back to Margaret so that we can do a short Q&A in the remaining few minutes. Back to you, Margaret. You are muted.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for continuing this again. For the seniors, maybe there's a lot I cannot be able to go through it, but we all have heard, and maybe we have questions. Maybe we can first go to the questions, and then we go to closing up. Karibu, anybody with a question, hands up. Hello. Okay, maybe for me, Elizabeth, I have a question. And when we do all this, do you have money? Do you have done all this and the last respect? And your money is in the, and you still have money in the bank? And you have grown old, you cannot even go to the bank, you cannot sign your signatures. How does it reach there, and how does the trust work? Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if I got it well, what you asked, but I know Margaret was asking about how does the trust work. I would want to do a full session training on how trust works. Okay, and I think it is something that cannot be contested. But as maybe Margaret could organize for us to have another session. I train on creating a family trust, on planning your estate, because it is not something that can be done as a written now or in the remaining few minutes. But we all need to create a trust, and we put our assets there so that that piece of land, it will no longer be reading Margaret. Yeah, it will be reading Margaret and Sons, or whatever name you call your trust. And you'll say, these are my heirs. It's only this person who can give instructions, so it's only these two people. Or nobody is able, it will no longer be owned by Margaret. It will be owned by the trust, the family trust. It is not one person who can make a decision on the way forward. And when Margaret says that the money that comes from Radiant Bridges will only be used for school fees or for healthcare or for whatever, yeah, that one is cast on stone. There is nobody who can come and change that. When you say it is for my grandchildren or it is for my children, that is it. Yeah. If you say that everybody will take, if I've got 4 children and my estate is worth whatever billions, that everybody has got access to 25% or to 30%, and 10% goes to charity or goes to the church. That is the instruction. It will remain like that, nobody who can contest. And because it's no longer owned by Margaret, it is owned by Margaret and Sons Family Trust. You know, that becomes now the new owner. That's why nobody is able to mess around with a family trust. That's why you see businesses, it is not that they will limit you. You will say it is my family, everybody in my lineage who can run this business and benefit from it. And when there is board meetings, there will be a representative from the trust who will sit with your children to make decisions about the business. Yeah, whether or not you are alive, whether or not you have gone back to the road, even when you are there, the professional will sit down in meetings with your children. And even if whoever want to sit down and craft this or that or do this and that, they are tied by the trust. It is not that they will micromanage them in what somebody can do to run that business or the profits that they get. But what they will control is maybe long management, is maybe long allocation, is maybe long sales. Those ones cannot happen. And I've seen in the charts, so I'd want to train. I would have a session maybe to train on family trusts, how it works, the difference between a family trust and a trust fund. Okay, a family trust has got money and assets. A trust fund is about the cash only. And I'm glad that you are here, my friend, Catherine Kibera. Hi, thanks for your information. What is the difference between an equity fund and a money market fund? A very good question. I'm seeing that in the charts. When you hear people talk about investing in unit trusts, equity fund, equity fund, money market fund, bond fund, balanced fund, they are all unit trusts. Unit trust means your retro and my retro, we bring them together, invest as a huge lump sum, get returns, and depending with what you had invested, we share the returns. Yeah, and that is what is